Continues.
It's Entrepreneur Friday. Head injuries are a growing concern, not just in football, but other sports, including soccer and hockey. Let's learn about new efforts to conduct quick and accurate assessments of concussions. We welcome in Steve Devick, who is the founder and CEO of the King-Devick test based in Oak Brook Terrace. Steve, welcome back to the program. Walk us through the history of your concussion test. When did you develop it, and when was it first deployed?
Well, it was developed many years ago as a test for saccadic eye movements, which are really the micro eye movements involved in reading. And then about 2009, researchers in New Zealand found those same little eye movements, or those fine saccadic eye movements, were the first physical sign of a concussion. And so we then approached leading neuro-ophthalmologists around the country, and they did validation research. And then in 2015, the test had been so validated that Mayo Clinic, for the first time in their 150-year history, co-branded with us. The test is now called the King-Devick test in association with Mayo Clinic, and it's a test for the sidelines to tell when a player should be removed from play.
And where is this being used? Is this on the professional level, high school, grade school, everywhere?
Yeah, it has been used all over, and from professional leagues on down. One thing that's new as of last week, perhaps you remember that Sidney Crosby and even Corey Crawford had extended recovery times in concussions, and they presented research at the American Academy of Neurology last weekend that showed that our product can predict which players will have an extended recovery time when combined with the Buffalo concussion treadmill test, which is developed by Dr. Letty in Buffalo, who's the preeminent recovery specialist for concussions probably in the world.
And what are some of the indications, according to your test, that mean that would spell out an extended period of recovery time, like a Corey Crawford situation, or even in baseball in 2010 when Justin Morneau, then of the Minnesota Twins, was out for many months because he suffered a concussion going into second base?
Yeah, this is brand new research, and what they did was, Dr. Letty did, what his team at University of Buffalo is, they found concussion subjects just a day or two after the concussion. They did a King-Devick test, then they got the subjects to exertion, and then they repeated the test, and the subjects that did faster after the exertion had normal, less than 2 week, recovery times, which is in about 80+% of concussions happen, recovery happens within a couple of weeks, and some, though, have these persistent symptoms, like you just named one, and I think probably, like I said, Sidney Crosby may be the poster child for the long extended recovery time. But anyway, so he was able, with a strong degree of accuracy in this paper, and that was in the Journal of Neurological Sciences, and another one that's pending publication, to determine which would have those extended recovery times, which is 10, 15, 20% or less of the players that have concussions.
Are you surprised at all by the seemingly kind of rapid change in perception about concussions and parents approaching youth sports because of the concerns about concussions? 15 years ago, people were joking about knocking other players out or getting their bell rung, and now a concussion is a very serious matter.
Right. Even when I was playing football out at in Downers Grove in the suburbs many years ago, we did make up names for it, like you just mentioned, bell rung, or cute names for that. We didn't call it a mild traumatic brain injury, or even just a traumatic brain injury as we do now. And so the long-term serious effects of concussions are well known now. I think it's great that awareness has elevated to a point where we're all concerned, especially about younger kids, and the effects that concussions or repetitive head trauma, what some people call subconcussive blows, can have on a child's development life, their cognition going forward. And so it's a big concern, and I think it's something that's rightfully so.
Steve Devick, founder and CEO of the King-Devick test based in Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois. Thank you for joining us this afternoon on the Noon Business Hours.